It's alive. Hallelujah. Okay, and chat is moving on the screen. My God, it's picking the game up as well. Wonders will never cease. Whoa, well, it's been a bloody blatant disaster this evening. I was afraid our suggestion doomed it all. No, but it didn't, but it did point me to the solution. So, DNS cache. Of all things. Clear your cache. That's all it was. Cleared the cache because it couldn't log in. Twitch just... Streamlabs just could not log back in. We got transcoding, by the way. Haven't checked. Yay. Cool. Boss, thank you, sir. Yes, it's good to be back. Yeah, I had to log out, restart the router, clear DNS cache from from the bloody browser, like all time. So I'll be re-logging into God knows how many sites. But now all this is working. But yeah, it's a DNS issue or some such, or browsing cache. It just wasn't happy with it. But it's now working. God knows why it went tits up in the first place, but it did. So, hallelujah. We finally got it back. Although I doubt anybody of the 30 people that were watching are going to come back now, but at least I've got it working again. Yeah, just browser cache, basically. Clearing that cleared the issue. I then had to re-authenticate and blah, 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 you know, and all that pain in the arse. But it's by Gamel0007. Welcome to the stream. What fun we've had this evening. There's about an hour stream, and then the chat stopped working. Well, it stopped working for me. People in chat could chat, but it wasn't coming up on the screen, and I couldn't type anything into chat. And it's taken me best part of an hour to fix it. Yay! Isn't technology wonderful? Some of us patiently waited. You did, Antidote, thank you, and I appreciate you doing that. I've got to reconnect it to Twitter and whatnot. I don't know if I'll even bother. I will, I'll do it, but I'll do it, like, it doesn't need to happen right now. I can do it later. I mean, I'm not gonna stream for long now anyway, because it's been, like wasted over an hour of the stream already. Just doing this, you know. I lost track of the day. I was just in the living room watching your Friday YouTube episode too. Well, why not? Always good fun. Friday night with Kalos. Top tier entertainment for you all. It does seem to have fixed it though. Everything is now working again. Yay! Yeah, so your suggestion was right. So I was in the pub, so I missed it. I wish I could go to the pub as often as you, sir. I started watching Let's Build while doing nothing. Oh, God. Desperate for AO content. Where am I? Oh, I'm all west now. So we're doing the first part of the Corporal Ashley Winstead quest. What I had hoped to do this evening after doing that daily with Savik and Mihalik was carry on and do this quest together. Are we back? Yes, if you notice, the chat is now reappearing on the screen, and I can actually... Yeah, I got it. I can, you know, do things like... Yay! I couldn't do anything in chat. So browser. So yeah, I just had the spinning wheel of doom on the chat permanently, which is a total pain in the bottom. Thankfully, yeah, clearing all cache on the browser actually fixed the problem, but it means a bunch of new problems, or, well, not problems, but, you know, that pain in the backside where you've got to re-log into everywhere and get your phone out for your two-factor authorization or authentication or whatever. If you do some pointing, my trader can do some shooting. I'm fine, but thank you for the offer, Antidote. Much appreciated. These are only little green mobs. For the last bit of the quest, I can't get until I hit 120, and I probably won't hit 120 today now. I mean, it might be possible. There'd be a lot of running back and forth trying to get that level elsewhere, you know? I think I just missed somebody in chat then. No, no. Okay, so now I only need... I've got so much... Right, crackers are done. I just need the other two now. Nanovar hacker, you're mine. Nope, can't sneak it. Don't need this guy, but I'm gonna have to kill him anyway. Black Hats aggroed a rookie OT adventure for some reason, instead of me. Okay. So the game's nicely broken now. As always, yeah. What a palaver. You just wouldn't believe it, would you? All that aggravation, okay. So the last one, black hats I only need now. Any black hats anywhere? I think these are generic mobs around here, are they? Nope. Black hat. My concealment is clearly not high enough. Oh, was that the last one? Yeah, 3 returns is the charm. There are 3 separate missions you get once instead of... Yeah, I'm glad they did it that way. I've got all 3 there. I love swimming in the water. since they put the toilet cleaner in there. Spruced it up no end. On the Edge nightclub. I do get such massive nostalgia when I run. I think I get it more running around here than anywhere else, you know. I just remember all those times I used to visit here and get complete and utterly lost. I'm just glad it's working again. Honestly, not been able to tell if the chat's live, if I'm live. It just, it's nothing worse. It's flying blind. It really is. You know, so yeah, horrible. Not a good time at all, that. Anyway, thankfully resolved. But yeah, logging out was a good suggestion, Antidote, because that meant when I tried to log in and couldn't, that pointed me... Okay. That pointed me to the solution I did need. Which was simply that, which was you need to clear all your cache. It's goosed. Well, yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter if it was the direct solution. It pointed me to the I was at my wit's end. I'd tried reinstalling Streamlabs twice, but saved all the cache. Otherwise, I'd lose all this theme and everything else, and then all the bells and whistles, you know, like would stop working. But I can see it works. You know, even test widgets wouldn't work. So yeah, you did. You definitely helped out. Got my level 60 NT, a quality 51 soft pepper. Forgot I needed 200 multi-range. Yeah. Happy to help as much as my... Well, your Google Foo got, you know, started us in the right direction, so don't knock it. That's fine, my dude. Absolutely fine. Yeah, so literally clearing browser cache fixed everything else. Had I not logged out of Twitch, though, I wouldn't have figured that out. So, or logged Streamlabs out, because I had to then reauthorize Streamlabs. That was the problem. Its authorization had dropped, but somehow it couldn't tell me because the browser cache it uses was broken. So it couldn't tell me what the problem was. If it had said, can't log in, please re-verify, I would have known what I needed to do to it. But nope, it couldn't tell me. So, you know, logging out is what fixed it ultimately. You know, I hit all the data thieves. Now what? Could use some vermin disposal. Actually, not the most exciting word, but take these orders and get back to me when you've executed them satisfactorily. Right, now we're on. Go to Avalon and all of those. And go get some first aids, because the ones you've got in your bag are quality 1. They're not going to heal you very much. No, they're not. Let's go. We'll use that beacon. If we have fixed documentation, I probably will delete the little videos in between. Because people go, oh, what's these videos you got? What's this 6-minute one? Me swearing at Streamlabs, you know? So it's not ideal content, which reminds me, I need to get rid of that one now, really. Or just make it, I might keep it and put it on members on YouTube, because they'll see it and they'll have a laugh at it, you know. Put it on members on YouTube. Turn myself off there. Right, I want to go to video producer. Yeah, all these funny little ones where I've tried to log in. I'm going to make those non-visible. But I'll upload them. I mean, some of them, there's nothing there. So what I might do is download them and make a compilation with beeping. So you can have a good laugh at me going, oh my God, what is wrong with you? Will you work? If you don't work now, you're going to get a damn good thrashing. You know, I was turning into Basil Fawlty there. Just like, Okay, how much comp lit have I got now with the token board? Oh, plenty. Streamlabs Rage Compilation Volume 1. Yeah, honest to God. It was just like nothing was working and it was just so frustrating. G-buff up for the clans. Oh, Vulpu, thank you. Show the young woman your wrist. We'll go and do that. I somehow lost... I did have grid space, but okay. I don't think this quest, the first couple of stages, I'm not sure that actually gives you enough XP. It's not going to give you 4 levels at 116, is it? Yay. She is up. And... there we go. Yeah, and if you're neutral, you can get it from either side, which is nice. Playboy fix it. He just cannot stop himself from dancing. Cyber Exile. What happened? Did I miss drama? Well, technical drama. We started the stream. Everything's going swimmingly, having fun. And then on my screen, let me see if I can show you this. Right, so this is going to be a bit streamception, but... okay, this is what I see on my second monitor. This here. This Streamlabs window is on my second monitor. And over here, I have like a connecting to chat, just spinning and spinning and spinning. And, you know, normally as you chat, what you're saying pops up on screen, etc. I can use commands in the chat to do stuff. None of it was working. So I was trying all kinds to get things working, and then chat wasn't working at all, and I couldn't tell if the stream was live because there was no chat. You know it's live when people are talking to you saying, oh, you missed a thingy, or there's a thing over there, and you go, oh yeah, no. And you sort of carry on feeling confident that your stream is still connected and people are still watching you. But you can't know that, so it was like, oh God. And then I pulled up the stream on the browser. It was doing the same thing, and I was like, wait, what? It's just like, no. Right, we want to find general store. Is that basic or better? I think it's advanced, this, isn't it? Yeah. I was going to say, I wouldn't think it'd be that. What have they got here? Quality 20. How much first aid have I got? 444 50s. 528. We can go to 528. Seeing as we never need treatment. Right. Yep, it's working. Good stuff. Turned it out to be a Twitch bug night. Yeah, a few people on other streams were having issues. Just checking to see if that's some authorization or authentication thing. Twitch, your account? So yes, thank you. As long as it carries on working, I won't freak out trying to get it working. I always feel terrible when it doesn't. I feel like, oh my god, you know, I've let everybody down. Do you know what I mean? Silly, really, I know, but... You know, I think people deserve a decent stream when they come to watch it, you know. So... And it started so well. Well, fingers crossed that's that aggravation sorted for, hopefully, quite a while. Anyone done Team AI Daily? It's typically one of the alien playfields or a city raid, the team version. I've done it when I've already done like Sector 35 is one of the options, but all you need to do is hand in one of the spongles, which do drop at AI events, so it's worth grabbing one. You hand one of those in without doing anything. It's quite handy. I think I've got procs now. Yes, I have. I was planning on using MP and dot. I think some of them are you could do, but I've only ever done the Sector 35 one, which is just the spongle. Yesterday I did post a cat trying to fireplace. Oh yeah, yeah. No. It's just stood there. Cat too cool for school. Well, she went downstairs. She probably couldn't smell the fur burning or anything. He goes to try and tell her when she comes back up and she ignores him. Cat's there like my tail's on fire. Cat seems extremely calm about being on fire there. I'm kind of impressed by the cat. Too cool for school cat there. My god. Cat, you're on fire. Yeah, bad worse. No biggie, I can handle it, you know. My god. I'd be mortified if that was my pet. I'd be like, no, my god. Didn't seem bothered though, did it? Maybe it was the inner fur insulated it from the, you know, the outer fur being on fire. Maybe it's a witch's cat and it's used to fire. Could be. You never know. Well, they've got more than one layer of fur. The inner layer is very, very thick and dense. So it was probably that was just insulating it. And it had an outer fluffier later. It'll grow back as long as it's not burnt down to the skin and damaged the hair follicles, which I don't think it would have, because it would have been screaming if... A cat would have gone wild if that had been the case. Because it would have been in pain. It's oily to protect from water. Yeah, it is, yeah. A soaking wet cat doesn't get water to its skin. Unless you put a ton of detergent in there, which is why you should never bathe a cat with detergents. Didn't spread? No, I know. How many more of these have we got to kill? Fly, little bird. I'm waiting for the thing to appear in my inventory, or has it already and I just didn't notice? Could be either, couldn't it? Three more! My god. Kill loads of them. I wasn't calm 3 months ago when my beard caught fire. Yeah, but that's one layer. Ever get the stink eye from wood? Let's have a look. Oh, a serious stink eye there. Yeah. Kill this because it's annoying me. Yeah, that cat one, that's just kind of freaky how calm it was. And the dog was like, "You okay, bud? You okay?" The dog seemed more bothered than the cat. Dog's like, "Funny puppy, are you okay?" My melee and knit, I've not been raising it much. Yeah, that's gonna help. And a little bit over here, I think. Body dev. Vades. Do I want to... I could max out. It's not that high, is it, even then? Exploring, yeah, let's get some more in there. Trade and repair. I think I want to get more to that. Nano and Cass I'm going to leave just for now. One more Anun Slicer. Another Siljar Russell funny. Let's take a look. If you can see it. You see it, you see it. If not, we can explain it. Yeah, a couple of faces. That is very creepy, isn't it? Wonder if that's been a bit photoshopped. Oh, was I not showing that? Oh, I was, yeah. Yeah, when I tried to log back into Twitter, it was like, create a new Twitter account. No, I do not wish to create a new Twitter account. I has one already. See if they try and look innocent. They're guilty of something, those sockets, I can tell. Okay, we've got the next one, which is south. Yeah, they did. It was quite human looking. It was kind of weird how human they looked, actually. And the last one of them, okay. Yeah. It's hard not to see them, isn't it? There's a name for perceiving a face where there is none, but I can't remember it. The effect of, you know, it's like seeing an image in, oh, Jesus appeared in my toast this morning. Face pareolid. Ediola. Is that right? How do I say that? Parelioda. Sounds a bit Latin. Let's have a look. Translate. English.
Pareidolia. Pareidolia.
Pareidolia. Right. Pareidolia. Very good. Face pareidolia. I knew there is a term for it because it's very common. Pareidolia is doesn't have to be, yeah, seeing an image that isn't actually there. Well, that's kind of how your vision works. We assume that when we see something, we see it because it's there, but that's not actually it. It's our brain's interpretation of the stimulus at the back of our eyes from light and photons hitting it. So your brain makes sense of that, those nerve impulses coming down. So you don't actually see something. You're, you know, which is why hallucinations can happen, why under certain circumstances people have, you know, perceive the universe in a way that isn't actually how everyone else sees it and stuff like that. It's kind of freaky how vision actually works. So it's kind of like the reason, you know, that we do see things like that is because our eyes interpret them a certain way, and facial recognition is one of the strongest instincts one of the first things you learn to do is recognize a face, usually your mother's or your father's or whatever, you know, whoever's taking care of you as a baby. When you see the colour red, that object got every colour except red, as lacking the red colour. No, it's reflecting red light. You see red because it's red. So the frequency of light that's bouncing off of it is the colour you see it as. Is that what you mean? But that's how it works with light. If you see, well, why is glass clear? The answer is it's not. It's just transparent as far as visible light is concerned. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the Japanese view the character of a car. They see the front of the car as its face. So that's why certain cars are desirable in Japan that you wouldn't normally think, but you know, and certain cars are not desirable in Japan because of the way they perceive it. Yeah, it's, well, you see, look how well it worked with Cars, the movie. In Japan they didn't like it because the headlights weren't the eyes, the screens were. You know, the windscreen of the car were the eyes, and they're like, no. That's not how it works. So it wasn't appreciated as much there. Yeah, lots of frequencies of photons can pass through glass. But heat itself doesn't pass easily. Thermal heat, direct heat. It is a silicate, so not a good conductor of heat, but a very good conductor of photons. Let's go straight through it. Nanomutant, come to me. Yeah, there's a 60 symbols video explaining why is glass transparent. So it's like, well, it isn't. It's just transparent to visible light. Yeah, thermal. I get what you're saying. Yeah. Well, it's the gaps in the atoms and the arrangement of those atoms in the molecules of the glass. Yeah. And then we're gonna have to move around for some more of these. Move the mic as well. Somewhere over here, that's better. Yeah, so you can hear me more clearly like that. Donk. I can use our TV remote pointing it straight up at the ceiling. Because it's white ceiling, so it reflects the pulse light. Fear planters don't count, but we're killing them anyway. Where can I get the next? Yeah, it is that when you get that, that's when you really start pouring on quite a bit more damage. In the totemic rights perk line. One more nanomutant. You're not exactly getting big XP rewards for each stage of this. Alright, I'm gonna fly for the sky. Point myself in the right direction, hit auto move, and get myself some water. Okay, give me a sec. I'm going to go and put my phone back where it's supposed to be. There we go. Right, we're back. Soldier Russell with another one. What do we got? Towel animal left. I love it. That's just brilliant. Right, I need to be careful here. Memory, these things have got kind of like a nuke that's a little bit scary, or at least can be. Do I sound better that way or sound better that way? I'm not too sure. Right, so Mihalik, you're back streaming. Yeah, God, what a nightmare. It took me 45 minutes and some change to sort it out. Antidote, my drink choice of today is distilled rye. Bye bye, Miss American Pie. Drinking whiskey and rye. Yeah. I took a nap, stream was up, took another nap, stream is back. Yeah. Been an adventure. Turned out, what it was is the DNS cache on my system needed purging. Fancy word for drinking vodka for me. I thought vodka was potatoes. Isn't it potatoes? I'm not sure. On spirits. I don't really drink spirits, so... Most vodka's made of grain. Right, I always thought it was potatoes, but okay. I'll take your word. Making it from potatoes, is that more of a, you know, poo-tang? Is that some moonshine? Mel Harley, I was watching Mythbusters in the chair late at night. Woke up 8 hours later. And it's still the same episode. Fall asleep again. As it's supposed to be odorless and flavourless, hardly matters. Vodka? No, it stinks to high heaven. It's definitely got a flavour. Yeah, you can ferment any vegetable matter. I know, but... Well, you're old, I'm just hungover. Okay. There are a ton of different vodka processes. Okay. We learn it's like the Discovery Channel used to be. My stream chats, aren't they? It's like we come on. It's like an episode of QI. What do you make vodka from? Potatoes. Blah, blah. No, it's not potatoes. In fact. And then everyone gets a turn at being Sandy Toksvig or Stephen Fry. As I said, it's supposed to be... Bottom shelf vodka is horrendous, but if you buy like a bottle is about $20, pretty much odorless and flavourless. I'm thinking of Smirnoff. Is that like cheap and nasty? I always thought it was like a good one. Or is Smirnoff like... Nah, that's crap that, mate. This chat's been to YouTube once or twice, yes. Google Foo, checking it all out for the answers. Yeah, it was a nightmare. You see, normally when you guys are talking, it comes up on the screen, and that lets me know that I'm still live, and it just wasn't doing it. So unless someone said something or whatever, it's like I just didn't know. And then I couldn't test it myself. You know, I couldn't just sort of just go, oh, let's just make sure we're still live, you know, and just do a quick one of those. Because it just kept coming up, connecting to chat and not connecting. And then I tried disconnecting, reconnecting, could not reconnect. It spent like 10 minutes just trying to re-log on to Twitch. Which was suggested by Antidote. But it was a good thing he suggested it, because then I looked at why Streamlabs would be doing that, and the answer was, oh, you probably need to clear browser cache. So I did, and then suddenly, yeah, it's all working again. Except I've now got to go through all my authentication messages and two-factor authentication and whatever. You know, it's a pain in the buttocks. Antidote, when there's a family meeting, I am forced to drink lots of vodka. Bet I had a different kind. All the different kinds up till this day. Oh my god. Well, you know, every family's different. Can't you set your browser to do that every time you close it? You could, but has anyone got the time to do all their re-authentications and stuff? Because I haven't. Not every time I go somewhere on a site. Oh, re-authenticate. Oh, Jesus Christ. Doing it once a month, I think, is probably enough. Yeah, it is a pain. It is a pain. I wouldn't want to do it every time, you know, I started the computer. Yes, you can set it to do it automatically, but I suspect very few people do. Yeah, this is the sneaky little dot these things have got. You can see it hitting now, but we're quite good on HP on this too. Depends which Smirnoff. They have a labelling system like Johnny Walker. Ah, right, okay. Basic level is pretty crap. Silver, black, blue labels are better. Black is probably the best and smoothest. So the red label Smirnoff is rubbish, is what you're saying? Return to Corporal Ashley Winstead. Okay, we shall do that very thing. No, I wasn't getting in a flap with the stream before. I was getting annoyed with it. I was like, I know eventually I will make this bloody well work, but I couldn't log into Streamlabs themselves on their own site. It just wouldn't log in. It just wasn't logging in. So it's a caching issue that causes it. It's basically distilled food grade ethanol watered down to 40%. Wow. I mean, ultimately that's most spirits. Yeah. Spirits are not the strongest things I like to drink are like a wine, really. I don't like anything much stronger than wine to actually drink. I don't know. You know, everybody's different, but yeah, spirits are just not my thing. I remember trying them when I was younger and having things like vodka with fresh orange juice. Because it was just like an easy way to get drunk without having to taste alcohol. And then God, I was sick so many times. But then developed a taste for beer, so. Glitter Girl, welcome on in. How you doing? I'm a wine gin. Yeah, I like real ale. And a little wine now and again. You know, I like lagers and stuff as well. You know, but if I buy something to drink at home as beer, I'll buy lager. Tinned ale it's not the same. But tinned lager is exactly like draft lager. Doesn't taste any different, really. Isn't beer supposed to be an acquired taste? Maybe, yeah. Why is it so popular? Because it's really good. Because you can make a pint last, you know, there's 100 reasons probably why it's so popular. It's a gradual getting drunk, I think, is one appeal of it. You know, you get drunk much more slowly with beer than you would on spirits or wine. Cheap, yeah. Wine in the cheapest way of getting drunk in the UK is probably wine. Beer just gives you horrible bloating since you turned 28. All right. I've dealt with the critters. Right, let's hand all this stuff to him. So one of those, some of these. Anything else? And he's going to say, come back when you're level 120. Okay. Non-Polish friends get confused since we drink a lot of water in between, or vodka water down, and then try to match our pace without the water. Ooh, that's not gonna work. Beer. Yeah, I like it. It depends. We have a drink in the UK called bitter, and it's just a dark pale ale, basically. It's very easy going on the body. One unit of cat need food. It's like, big hint, I need food. Come on, Human, I'm hungry. My human must be broken. Human, go get my foods. My human must be broken. Yeah, it is a little bit like that, isn't it? Fair dues. The only beer I drink is alt beer. Translation told me this. Top fermented dark beer. Yeah, it's probably similar to bitter. So let's go to display capture. Right, so a pint of bitter looks like that. It's a dark, but not creamy. Well, some of it's creamy. Right there, so that's the stuff. It's a pale ale, but it's not very pale, basically. Light ale, seasoned ordinary. But yeah, it's very smooth. If you search UK bitter, it's probably quite similar to what you're describing. Some of it is really strong as well. When did the internet decide that cats are basically Ferengi? The internet decided that when me and Mrs. Carlos 2 started doing it early 2000s. I'm claiming that one. Because we were watching DS9 on repeats on Sky or something. And then in the kitchen, the one of the cats came up and started bobbing at me like this because it wanted feeding. And Mrs. Callis too went, "Who man, feed me?" Like, who man, feed me, who man? And we used to joke about it in chat on Anarchy Online, and we used to joke about it in MSN. Do you remember MSN? And that was the first time I'd ever heard it, was when she just came up with it, off the cuff. So I'm claiming that one for Team Kalos. But yeah, so it's same as Blue Screen of Death. I remember saying it and a load of people bursting out laughing. I could not tell you where I'd heard it. Sadly, MSN, yeah. I can remember we wanted a live chat while we were all playing, I think it was Unreal Tournament or something. So we were all in MSN talking there. And then then they put voice chat in MSN, and that we used to use that. It was terrible, but it worked, so we used it. Well, we could try going for level 120, but we're going to have to go Shadowlands and either grind and or do some more of the Sheol quests, I guess. It's amazing, my girlfriend is 8 years younger and half the cultural references I have, she's completely oblivious because she was 6. You cradle snatcher. No, both adults. Yeah, there's only, I think there's only like a year and about 18 months between me and Mrs. Kalos too, so very few references, that we both, there's very few that we don't both share. Is Tara up? Does anybody know? Might as well grab that mission while I think about it. Bubble Rock. Or whatever it's called. MSN, the true dark web. Yeah, there's a lot of shenanigans went on that. I remember seeing things in game like Wallace Cyber. I feel I've done the right thing with my daughter. She knows how to work at the Amiga, the C64, but also enjoys playing games on a Game Boy. Just a shame I could not learn her teacher. The old internet services like MSN no longer exist. I remember having it and being on it every day. I remember having AOL and their chat thing as well. What else could we do? Scouting Panorama, fine. Technologist, that's the spawn things with the... I need a crystal filled by the source for that one. Scouting Panorama, we could maybe get that done. You entered the grid from there. I was ready to wave at you at Old Athen Grid. No, you still can. MP-Dote! Yay! It has nothing to buff you with except... maybe that. Shades haven't got buffs for people, have they? So it is what it is. Okay, we'll go back to Sheol then, I think. See if we can do a little bit more. Get to 120. But then the final bit of the quest I would probably need help with anyway. I think. Find scouting panorama. I'm not sure if we can handle any of these spirit lady things up at the top. Soon find out then. Scouting panorama on the Rock of Safety. One with developing worlds. Well, I was 30, she was 22 when we started dating. And we literally went on like 15 dates before she'd given up on waiting me to make a move. So she took the first steps because I didn't really want to be a creep. Like, I really liked her, but I was just concerned about the age difference. Been together 7 years now, so it wasn't really a fling. Yeah, the older you two get, the less and less of an age gap it'll seem like anyway. And people might notice it now, but 10 years from now, they'll notice it less. 20 years from now, they practically wouldn't even think of it. And 30 years from now, well, you're both going to look like old farts like me, so. Oh, I saw that on the Discord. The cat on the checkout thingy. Conveyor, I guess. Who gets that reference from me singing a terrible version of part of the Simpsons theme? They pull Maggie across. Right, so he wants me to go Northern Clifftop. Where's my Google foo? Maggie, yeah, that's it. I know the guide for this quest has the markers. Sheol, knowledge of the Yurtos. Scouting panorama. Right, it's giving me northern first. Eat my shorts, yep. I have not watched The Simpsons in about, God, probably 20 years. I think I watched, when did they did the Simpsons movie, when did that come out? Because I did watch that. And it just felt like a normal episode of The Simpsons that went on for too long. Didn't quite work. For me, you know, I mean, it probably worked great for Simpsons fans, but... You quit just in time. Has it gone a bit crap? I mean, it's been running forever though, The Simpsons, hasn't it? When did it start? It was like a small cartoon on the Tracy Ullman show. And then went off and, you know, and Tracy Ullman tried to sue them for going off and doing their own thing. And I was like, what, really? Trying to say she owned it. And it's like, well, do you though? Right, what are these like? Not sure on this one. Movie was 07. That's the last thing I ever saw of it, was that. Oh God, this thing's way too tough. I'm barely damaging it. Oh, and it's healing as well. Fox did buy the Simpsons song, so they own the copyright on that, but did not buy The Simpsons that I got signed at the beginning. And those who sings it gets about €100 every time an episode gets aired anywhere on any net. Oh, right. €100 is a lot for one area. The Simpsons. Sound like just, you know, your run-of-the-mill or really good session singers. Session players generally do not get big royalty checks because they're not entitled to any royalties. When you do session work like that, you're signing a waiver where you're being paid for a performance and nothing more, and that's it. It doesn't go any further than that. Okay, I think we're good for this bit anyway. Right, clicky. Usually the right... See, this is the thing. Most record deals are terrible. And record companies rely on the ignorance of the artists that are signing, that think a record deal is, you know, it. If we get the record deal, we've made it, kind of thing. And it's like, nope. Most record deals are like, right, we'll give you 50,000 to pay for the cost of recording your music. But it's a double-edged sword, because you're giving away the rights to the material because you're selling it to them, right? So they get the rights to your music and you only get 20%. They get 80%, and out of that 20%, you're paying them back the 50,000. So most record deals are complete and they're just like, are you kidding? You know, it's just, they're awful. Anyone that reads through the fine print would never sign it. And, you know, it's not like the old days where being signed really makes a big difference to how many people are going to, you know, it's nuts. They hold all the cards, which is why, you know, you see these guys and they've had #1 singles, you know, you're thinking they should be millionaires. And, nope. But the record company made a few million out of them. It's very broken. It's because it's run by, you know, businessmen who sign people up to some terrible... Target can't be in a fight, damn you. Yeah, so the deals are just diabolically bad. Should never just sign a record deal. Because you're signing away your music. And, you know, they can do what they want with it. This is why people didn't understand why Prince was doing, you know, what he was doing. You know, changing his name to a symbol, writing slave on his face, you know, performances, because he was like, this is not what I want to perform. I want to perform this bunch of songs that I've just written that are, you know, they're where I'm at. There. And they were like, no. Don't play the stuff you wrote 10 years ago, because that's what we want to release. We own you. So he you know, he hated that. And the way he got out of their contract and then set up his own record label. I'm gonna die. This thing is not going down. I just use careful in battle. I hope it's enough. Oof. Oof. God, that felt close. Ooh. Can't remember what TV show it was. Well, they did compete about getting a record deal, but, well, I got lucky, and out of second place will get a better deal than the first place, as they can work out their own deal, yeah. The independent record labels are the way to go. Don't, you know, the old school record labels are just, they're just awful. They're just so bad, the deals they give people. They're preying on ignorance, essentially. you know, which is business, I guess, but, you know, it's amoral, at the very least. And... okay, I'm going to need to make more space, I think. Right, and so finally we've got the eastern plates, I think. Yeah. Geronimo! All the way down. Yeah, so, like, Steve Vai did it. They, a record company offered to, because he played with Dave Lee Roth and Whitesnake and wanted to release his own album, they were like, oh yeah, we'll sign you, here's the deal. And he said, well, okay, I'm going to put this under my, my manager's nose. And they were like, oh, well, okay. But his manager wasn't like your usual music industry manager. He was something else, I think. Like some accountancy or whatever kind of lawyer type guy that he knew from college. And they showed it him. And he said, whatever you do, do not sign this. And then they decided to create their own record label and release independently. Which is why, you know, he made as much money as he did from the Passion and Warfare album. Because, you know, he owned he retained the rights to all his music, amongst a bunch of other things, and didn't pay through the nose, because he recorded the album in his own studio. So getting signed and having an advance, oh, come on, I hate the Eastern one, he's always broken. Trying to climb it, he's like, eh. Yay, there's no bloody minks up here. Thank God for that. That last fight was so close. I was like, ooh, I don't know if I'm going to do that. Contract lawyer is must be the best man. Yeah, he said, God's sake, don't sign this. You know, he was like, this is so monumentally a bad idea to sign. He said, you are giving up all your music, etc., etc., so... Right, return to scouting Panorama. Where's he? Marker for him as well. Yeah, so he ended up with a much better deal. But do you know what else he was very smart about? He wanted a performance guitar for what he was doing, and there were various companies were like, oh, you know, we'll make you something. And he said, well, look, here's the design of what I want. And he gave it out to a whole bunch of guitar companies. And Ibanez came along and they were the only one that built what he asked for. Everyone else just tried to put a paint job on a model of guitar they already made. But it was Ibanez that went, yeah, we'll make it. We'll make exactly what's on the sheets to the spec, you know, and everything else with the new wiring system, yada, yada, yada. And they were the only company that would actually do it. And he said, the first one that gets it to me, you know, that's who I'm going to do a deal with. And he said himself he's made more money out of that design and the sales of it than all of his music stuff, which is nuts. He promoted his Passion and Warfare album while he was in Whitesnake. And he was really, you know, people had heard of him at this point. He was becoming a name in his own right, you know, like Van Halen or Ewigny Malmsteen or someone like that. Having filled, you know, their boots a couple of times. What's this? Big cats. Let's have a look. That's a good Photoshop. That would be incredibly terrifying when you're that size. That's a big hat. That kind of works. It's got its arms coming through the windows or something. Cleaning its ass. This one. Oh dear. Giant cat. Hey, he didn't really want to go out on tour as a frontman. He didn't mind, you know, being in a band and that, but yeah, he did not want to go out front being a frontman. He's comfortable with it now, but he wasn't at the time. So, you know, it's there's a someone did a pretty good documentary his first sort of 30 years. The amount of stuff he'd got done in 6 years is just mind-blowing. Well, I can't remember what comes after this guy. Final one is like the other. Is this going to be... Oh, this might be the catacombs. Oh, yeah, he exploded into the rock world, yeah. I mean, I picked up on him when he was in Frank Zappa's band, but you know, Frank really liked him. So find the one who is like the other, which is the lower level one, isn't it? I bet he plays guitar like 15 hours a day. Between 7 and 19 hours a day when he was getting his chops down. Nowadays, he says he only plays, you know, those kind of hours when he's actually working on something. You know, his muscle memory's developed that far. Okay, so now we've got bring back 3 vision containers. Oh, I hate this one. What about you? He won't talk to me. Yeah, I'm not going to do that tonight, I don't think. I think that's a bit much. Plus, I think... I mean, it's a pain in the arse doing it as well, because the drops are so random. It's like one of the most sandbag kind of things in the whole thing. In the whole quest line, that is. I mean, how much XP are we getting on a kill now? I was trying to learn guitar Steve Vai, and it was the reason I quit. Really? I don't know if I could still play some of his stuff. I mean, bits of it, probably not all of it, but I don't play enough every day, really, to stay on top of that. Might not going to be a... No, that's not true. You could do one note in one day, couldn't you? If you could play the second note the second day, third note the third day, you know, in a year, you've got the first couple of bars down. Even if it's like a ridiculous amount of notes, you know, you can learn it. It's not impossible. What's impossible is trying to do it all at once if it's way beyond your natural ability. Whenever people put Who-Man on animal photos, I think of these guys. Yep, exactamundo, and that look he gives him. But what? When you're starting it, yeah, well, that's not how you do it. You rationalize it, you break it down. Okay, I'm going to learn the opening 8 bars. I'm going to work on that for a week. After I've done all my warm-ups and everything else. And then I'm going to play it at 50% tempo. And you do that for a week and you go, okay, I can do the intro now. And then you increase it by a couple of BPM every hour for a few hours until it's virtually the right speed. And then eventually, once it's completely under your fingers, you can play it at that tempo. That's how you do it. Gradually. Yeah, the per mob XP here is nuts. Well, that's it. I mean, I barely play. I don't even play every day anymore, which is, you know, something I should do, but especially when a bit of work comes my way, I'm like, oh shit. Need to get my chops together, you know. But I get distracted by too many other things now. You know, there was a time when I was like real tunnel vision with guitar. And that's probably when I you know, progressed the most. I could play a lot of Steve Vai stuff. Maybe not as well as he could, but I could play it. Like the Eugene's Trick Bag, I learned that. The only parts of that whole duel that are not Steve Vai are the slide guitar parts. That's Raikuda. Everything else is Steve. So when you're hearing the Telecaster that's like missing 6 frets to be able to play the piece itself, that's actually Steve playing it. But he formed a lifelong friendship with the Karate Kid. Ralph, what is his name? Lovely, great guy. Yeah, they ended up becoming friends and they're still friends to this day, you know. 2 Italian Americans in a movie working together. And it was only when the director and the producer met Steve Vai and kind of went, yeah, this guy really is the devil's guitar player, isn't he? You know, the way he looks. And all that. Ralph Macchino. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, it's Ralph something. I love him. He's great. I love a lot of his older films and stuff. I haven't watched the reboot of the Karate Kid. I'm kind of like, I'm nothing against it existing, but for me personally, it's like I like the memory of that movie from when it was and all the rest of it, and I kind of want to leave it where I found it, you know. And the other side of it as well is why are we just redoing the things we've done before? Why are we not looking at new stuff? And again, it's these execs in suits, you know, they got all the imagination of that it takes to flip a burger, you know. It's and they won't take a risk anymore. There's plenty of, you know, stuff out there that they could be making, but they're not. And the prime example of that is stuff like Love, Death and Robots. They're all short, but they're all way more interesting than any of the blockbuster stuff that's coming out of Hollywood or anywhere else. Way more interesting, more thought-provoking, more compelling, because they're new ideas, you know. Renegaders have subscribed with Prime. They subscribed for 9 months. Thank you very much for the resub, and thank you very much for 9 months. Appreciate you, dude. Thanks a lot. Tried watching Cobra Kai, but kind of a groan. Yeah, this is it. When I watched it, the whole cinema got up and cheered at the end, you know? Breaking Bad was a great TV show because something like that hadn't really been done, which made it compelling. You know, but Hollywood very rarely does anything like that. Yeah, this is it. The market's moving. You know, video killed the radio star. Well, streaming is killing off cinemas. You can't really stop that being a thing because people have got used to the internet now, and it was actually rebooted by Aquino himself. I think most of these actors had dead careers and they rebooted it as YouTube short episodes, and it's like, well, good for him, yeah. I mean, he played the good-looking young kid, didn't he? And now he's like an older guy, and he's not getting those roles. He's not being considered for other dramatic roles, and it's just weird. It's like Matthew Broderick. He was in loads of stuff, and he was really good, and then he got to his 30s, and Hollywood just dumped him. It's not just women that they do that to, you know. Hollywood does it with anyone. They put someone in a box, and that's it. Like I say, I've nothing against it existing. I don't want it not to exist. I just don't want to watch it. You know, it's... You know, The Boys. Brilliant stuff. Love, Death and Robots. Amazing. You know. You know, like, what was the other one? Broken Mirror. That's really good as well. And it's because it's new ideas, it's new scripts, it's new directions to take something in. Like, I watched the latest Thor movie and it was like, that's all right. But they've just basically done more or less a remake of Ragnarok, which was actually better. So they're probably not going to make another one like that. Where they seen Ragnarok was kind of a bit of a laugh. They made Thor a bit of a joke almost, you know. And it kind of worked for one movie, but it didn't need to be that for every movie thereafter. But oh, that worked. Let's just keep going. YouTube was kind of sponsoring and trying to make its own content back then. Yeah, they went through a good phase. Like, the management at one point was actually quite good. They were like, let's encourage content development, movie, you know, longer form stuff. But then as soon as, like, Twitch became popular, oh no, we couldn't buy Twitch. Right, we've got to put all our resources into doing streaming on our platform. And then short videos came up, you know, like Vine went, and then TikTok popped its head up, and they were like, okay, we've got to have TikTok. We need our own TikTok. They've got this real monkey see, monkey do kind of business plan at the moment, and it's not developing their platform. They don't see it that way, but it's not. They're looking at it, I think, in the wrong way. They're looking at it like, we have to stay current, we have to compete. The way you do that is by doing your own thing, not by copying everybody else's idea. But they don't see it. They just don't get that. Yeah, I don't mind the She-Hulk. I quite like that. That's a bit of a laugh, you know. But I'm not interested in any more. It's like, we've done it now. You know, you did the big Avengers thing. It's like, I didn't, you know, I'm not even seeing all the Spider-Man movies, and I was a massive Spider-Man fan as a kid. I used to read all his comics. I used to look forward to getting the Spider-Man annual at Christmas, you know, things like that. I loved that as a kid. But, you know, eventually, you know, it's just worn out, isn't it? The last movie I watched is a Disney animated Soul. Good movie, will recommend, and yes, some will say Dune is a movie. Dune, the book, or the books, you got to remember the very first book is more or less an introduction to the universe of Dune. It's not the whole story. The 1984 version tried to convert the Dune book into a Messiah type story. Changed the roles of a few characters for that to happen, and kind of distorted what the world was and all that. Like the Atreides were, you know, the good guys, but in truth, they're really not. They did manipulate and use people, but they did it in a kinder way than most others did. You know, there's a line in the book which is, you know, the Harkonnen coin is hate and the Atreides coin is love, but they still use love, you know, in a similar way. Whereas in the new movie, they reveal how Duke Leto is actually thinking. He's thinking, I know this is a trap, but I think if we can convince, you know, the Fremen to join us as an army, we can win. And of course, you know, they're betrayed sooner than he was expecting, and he's killed because there's you know, a spy in the camp kind of thing. I don't want to spoil too much. But Paul really decides that he's going to follow in his father's plan for revenge. He's no kind of messiah. It doesn't rain on Arrakis at the end either. Yeah, it's not three movies like Lord of the Rings would do a better job of telling the story. That's all. But the neat thing with longer serializations and books is they work so much better. Like if you look at how well Good Omens and Sandman worked by making it episodic content. Because people, if you said, oh, we've made a movie of that, but it's 6 hours long, you'd be like, screw that. But if you said, oh, there's a TV series of that, it's like 10 episodes. Oh, watch that. Because people will watch 10 episodes, maybe not all in one night, but, you know, they'll watch 10 episodes. It's like, well, that's not a big commitment, but a 6-hour movie would be. You know? And this is the thing now. I mean, there was some... They got the important parts right with... when Paul Atreides meets the she's played by Charlotte Rampling. I used to have a big crush on when she was younger, when we were both younger. Kind of still do. She's still got that twinkle in her eye, even though now she's kind of old lady. She's still a brilliant actor though, and he's got his hand in the box, and she's reading his mind as he's doing what he's doing. And she realises the further she's pushing him on this test, the more of this super being, this Kwisatz Haderach, is coming to the fore. And you see a certain point, and it's all done with just the way the camera's been shot and the scene's been set and the way the expressions in their eyes, where suddenly she is becoming fearful of him. Like, oh my, you know, like, oh, whoa, like, you know, the brakes have fallen off, you know, the wheels come off the wagon, you know, she's scared. And Paul is no longer, there's no fear in what's happening anymore. He's starting to take control of the situation. And it's at that point that she stops, which is much more what happens in the book. She's like completely terrified of him when she realizes, you know, She plays it down at the end. Oh, well, welcome to the human race, young human, and all that. But she's actually like, oh, you know, oh, crap. You know, he probably is the Kwisatz Haderach, and we've got no control over him. It terrifies her. I watched all 3 Lord of the Rings movies in one sitting. Worst experiences I ever had as a smoker. As if we left the cinema to go out smoking, we could not get back inside. What? You paid your ticket? Just Googled her. Charlotte Rampling. Yeah, look at Charlotte Rampling in her 30s or 20s. Hot damn. You know, she's got that kind of intensity in her eyes. It's just, yeah, damn. Have you seen it? There's a film really out there with Sean Connery in it. What the hell's it called? Zardos or something. Strange film. But yeah, her in that. Wow. She's like, God, what a knockout. And highly intelligent. And what you see in her face is the emotional intelligence she has. It's really attractive. Yeah. Anyway, crushes on people from 40 years ago or whatever, you know. Helen Mirren anytime, mate. You got to remember, I'm 20 years older than you, so I'm looking in it with different eyes. It's like Sigourney Weaver. People go, oh, Sigourney Weaver when she was young. I'm going, Sigourney Weaver, full stop, mate. What are you saying? Sigourney Weaver wouldn't spit on me if I was on fire, but yeah, Sigourney Weaver. Well, I don't smoke anymore, so I know I vape, but I'm glad not smoking has made a lot of other things a lot easier. My father is such a big fan, he insists on his both sons at least once every 3 years visit for a weekend to binge The Hobbit and Lord of the Fields. Yeah, it is. I would do that. If my dad was around and said, do you want to come round, we'll binge this, I'd be like, yeah, okay, Dad. You know, let's go and get some snacks and some drinks and you know, let's make a whole weekend out of it, you know. I don't think the Hobbit films are as good as the Lord of the Ring films, but they're still good. I still enjoy them. Not my favourite, but it's quality family time. Yeah, don't waste it. Because gone is gone, you know? Oh, well, I'm not going to be competing against the 220 engineer, am I? What do we know? 118, ugh. I'm just glad the bloody Twitch and Streamlabs is working properly again. Such a bloody relief. Attacked by granite spider. What else can we do for XP? It's worth doing. My father is close to his 70s. Whenever we want to do something, I wouldn't dare not visit. Yeah, yeah. I had to go across Norway from south to north, well, from Oslo, all the way up, to visit my grandparents, hook up a DVD player for them so they could see Lord of the Rings. Yes, they'd rather pay plane tickets for me to come up than have the store personnel do it for them. Probably wanted to see you as well. Jennifer Connolly. Oh, that woman doesn't make physical sense. She has hot as balls in the 80s and somehow she's still hot, but she was a young teenager in the 80s, so like it was in the new Top Gun movie, and I know she's in her 50s, but somehow she's the same. She has changed physically. She's my age. Well, she's a bit younger than me, not much, but she is a little bit younger than me, I think, if I'm remembering that correctly, and I may not be, you know, because this is me we're talking about. Her face is much thinner than it used to be. Have you seen who she's married to, though? He's kind of the same. He's a very good-looking guy for his age. She lost a lot of weight over the years. She's been quite thin since early 2000s. She just got really slim and just stayed slim. Well, she looks healthy still. It's not like, you know. But in a, when you see her in like Labyrinth when she's what, 14 or something like that. You know, she looks the same today as she did in when she was in The Day the Earth Stood Still with Keanu Reeves. That's quite a good version. Nothing beats the original, but you know, it's still well done. Paul Bettany, of course, Paul Bettany. Damn that asshole! You're with the woman I love. Damn you! It's like Rachel Weisz and oh god, what's his name? He was James Bond up until very recently. I can't think of his name now. Craig Daniel, that's it. Yeah, they're married, and you kind of go, yeah, you know, you can see him as a couple. What's this one? Don't tickle me. He was not into that. You think do that too many times and you're gonna end up scratched. Paul Bettany, yeah, she's married to Paul Bettany. The guy who plays Vision, if people need a reference. Classically handsome man is with classically beautiful woman. Surprise! And you can see, like, they're similar age, you know, similar place in life. Like, you know, it's like, yeah, that's kind of okay. Grinding Shadowlands mobs for the XP. What could be better? She shed some of the baby fat. Well, her face was quite a lot rounder when she was young, like in Labyrinth. She was still like a stunningly pretty girl then. I think she's got the double eyelash thing. You got double layer of eyelashes. I've got double layers on the top. Like 2 rows. And some people have got them top and bottom like Elizabeth Taylor. Some people have triple and it looks like they're wearing mascara all the time and they're not. I feel like unnatural beauty can be unmasked by a look at the hands most of the time. Oh, you mean the way hands age? I suppose so, yeah. It depends what people do with their hands. If they're a musician, their hands will look, well, like mine, I suppose. It depends what they've done, doesn't it? The hands tell the story of what you do with them, you know. Sun exposure, well, not always. But yeah, sun exposure will age you faster than non-sun exposure. Too much sun does age you. Ages the skin more accurately. So if you've got someone that's lived in Hollywood for years and doesn't ever put sunblock on their hands, then their hands are going to look older than they are. So it's not, I wouldn't say it was a good a good measuring stick, so to speak. You know, people will put sunblock on their face, but they might not think to put it on the back of their hands. And more often than not, your hands are always exposed, aren't they? So. Thank God I had more LED, LCD exposure than sun exposure the last few years. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I walk or run every single day, so I do get a fair bit. But where we are at, I don't think it's quite so bad. I don't think the UV is all that high. And because I've got a little bit more melanin than average white person, I do okay with it anyway. If I'm out in the sun for a day, I've got a tan, basically. But that's being quarter Italian, so. Yeah, for vitamin D, 10 minutes in direct sunlight with X percentage of your skin exposed. The UK gets the sun. Oh God, yeah. Especially where we are, North Wales coast. Really gorgeous when it's sunny. I showed somebody pictures of, I was just walking around the Orme and I showed someone pictures, they thought it was Norway. They were like, oh, have you been to Norway? I was like, no, North Wales. What? Every time I've visited the UK, it's been raining like the flood happening. What time of year was it? And where was it? If you're talking about Manchester or somewhere like that in March or anywhere outside of the summer months, yeah, it probably was raining. More sunlight would mostly up my mood, but I just don't like being out when it's sunny or warm. I don't mind it. You know. The only reason I haven't gotten skin cancer yet is my girlfriend slathers me in sunscreen even when we go for a walk during the winter. I have that transparent white skin that doesn't tan, it just turns lobster. Yeah, be careful. I don't. I immediately go, well, you can see, I don't know if it'll show on camera, but I'll try and show you. So that's the palm of my hand, and that's the exposed bit to the sunlight. You see? So yeah. Yeah, if your skin's the same colour as the palm as it is on the back, and you've been out in the sun, it's like you just don't tan, mate. I do. But I go that slightly less red-brown that Italian people go. So that's just, you know, mixed DNA, isn't it? Congrats on your mental. I know. I should have brown eyes, but they're blue. Or greeny, yeah. They're light. They're not brown. I don't know if you can even see them on this camera, but... Can you? I don't know. They're in there somewhere under that brow. Nearly 219. Good God. Mostly spring. Yeah, spring is hit and miss. Spring 2020 was just hot and sunny everywhere. This, you know, in 2020, and then in 2021, totally not. And 2022, it did the same again, but it just stayed warm. Like we were like, it's getting too warm now. Yeah, if I avoid the sun completely, I do go very pale, but I don't, so... Have I got pictures, maybe? No. No. I don't know if I ever put them on here. Nope. I should still have them. Bear with me. These are just crappy phone pictures. They're not even taken with a proper camera. If I can find them even. No, that's the new phone, I think. I will find them. Put them in. I'm sure they're still on my desktop somewhere. Are they in here, maybe? They might be. Oh yeah, they are. That's quite an old one. That's where, a couple of years ago, that's Mrs. Callos too there. Covered in muck from him. Oh yeah. That's it. That's the inside of the Marshall amp I have. Valve porn. I've lost them now. They were right next to it and now they've gone. All the memes I've stolen. That's me a long time ago. With Mum and Dad. God, I look so young. I can't look anymore. Yeah, here we go. So, that's where I live. That was May 2020. Walking around the Orme. Okay. So you go, oh, Wales is all rainy and horrible. No, look, the sun comes out sometimes. That's why I name all my prom folders stuff like tax filing 2016, power bills, NFTs. Yeah. Gene expression. I'm Greek on my mother's side, got dark hair and eyes, but not a single pigment in my damn skin. There I'm all Hungarian, dad's side blonde, green eyes, super white skin. My sister literally got the opposite. She's blonde, green eyes, but tans like my mum. There's just no justice in the world, is there, Mahalik? I gone turned all my memories into NF, so you can't copy them. Oh, you oh right, yeah. Because no one can copy an NFT. Oh God, that made me howl with laughter. Print screen. Excelsior! How are you doing, sir? And thank you for your donation the other day. Has AO crashed for you today? I keep getting crashes on the new engine. That's just the new engine, sir. If you read the tweaking the new engine 2020 video, it will help a lot, but it won't completely stop it crashing. There you go. It does crash. There's, you know, there's certain places, like if you're trying to go to Omni Red and Blue, yeah, it's going to crash. It just always does. There's something wrong in that area that the new engine can't handle. 12 man, forget it. You get like 2 frames a second in there. As soon as the deranged Zan spawns, that's it. It's game over. Leveling. MA feels almost as OP as Shade. Can do, yeah. MAs are very solid. Old engine crashes too, does it? Not as often. It rarely... I mean, it does crash, yeah. I mean, there's nothing is 100%, but... it's quite rare for me to crash on the old engine. Whereas, almost guaranteed at some point on the new engine, that'll crash. I just accept that it does and just carry on, you know. He's whizzing past me there. I think I remember someone saying that when they met me. They're just like, oh, I didn't know you had blue eyes. Because they'd met me outdoors on a sunny day, so of course my eyes are just permanent shadow. And then we met up later on in natural lighting inside a building, and they went, oh, I didn't know you had blue eyes. And, yeah. Did I miss anything while nature called me? Not really. Just more, you know, general nattering and not much else. The phone is going to ring any second now, and it's going to be Mrs. Callis too, wanting a lift home. I completely lost track of the time. It's gone 11 o'clock for me. Normally I'm long gone by now. Might as well carry on till she phones. Could be 20 minutes, could be 5. Depends how busy she was and how much clear up and how tired the team are when she's trying to get them to finish up for the night. The blue eyes turn green in sunlight. Yeah, some eyes, yeah. They can, like, some photos I've seen of myself, they're green, others they're blue, but when I look in the mirror, they're blue. Quite a light blue. There's no brown in there, is what I'm saying. Mine turn grey when they hit with sunlight. It's the colour temperature of sunlight is... what is it? It's a warm white sunlight, isn't it? It's not actually white light. Is it 27,000 or 2,700 Kelvin? Because you measure light color in Kelvin. That's the color light I use for this room, because it's like natural daylight. I'm sure it's 2,700. Mine are 60-40 grey to blue anyway. Yeah, so probably what happens there is when that temperature colour's on them, the grey is more dominant. or perceived, you know. Whereas if you were in like a bluer light, like a, you know, colder light, like 6,500, they probably look a lot bluer. But the thing with mine is, because of the shape of my brow or whatever, like you can see, they're always in shadow. I've got to literally turn my head all the way up before there's any light getting into them. It's quite handy when I'm driving or sunny days. Everyone's walking around like, I'm like, like I've got that already. If they like, some people's eyes actually change colour, possibly, yeah. If they close one eye and look at the sun, they'll have two different colour eyes, right? Well, some people have that anyway, don't they? Like distinctly different colours. You know what I've not been doing, and I should, is check these bloody corpses for doges, seeing as I'm just killing them for XP. I bet I've left doges behind here. Yeah, the natural colour for a human eye is brown, and it's an anomaly when it's not that colour. It's like a, you know, genetic deviation. A mutant, yes. Well, we all are. I mean, Darwin got things kind of half right with the gradual sort of thing. There is a tendency for that, but also there's stepped evolution as well, where there can be a much bigger change in a much shorter period of time, and suddenly that becomes the dominant, you know, variant. So it isn't always gradual. He was right in that things can will naturally gradually change, but also there's stepped evolution as well. Where you can get a more dramatic, you know, deviation in the gene expression, and it's more likely to be passed on than not. Or, you know, there's a greater survival with it or whatever. I think the blue eyes thing, though, is blue eyes are attractive. There is a prerogative in our built into all species, which is look for variation. It is in there. So, you know, when blue-eyed people came on the scene, it was like, shug all the blue-eyed people. Babies start off with, yeah, yes and no. Not all babies. I think Caucasian babies more, yeah. Their eyes will darken, yeah. Oh, I didn't have blonde hair. It was much lighter colour than this. It wasn't blonde. I say lighter colour than this. This is probably the lightest it's ever been. It's white. But it used to be black. Relative to where you live, white skin is exotic in a place where most people are tan. Brown eyes are attractive where most people are blue or green. Yeah, there is. It's a inbuilt prerogative to look for variations because, you know, no one wants to drown in a shallow gene pool, do they? It's like cheetahs don't have a big enough gene pool, or they could do with a much bigger gene pool, but they don't have one. As a species, there's not enough. They could do with a lot more, you know? I remember reading about it. They were worried because, you know, there weren't enough genomes variations in the species itself. You know, when they do these science fiction movies and they talk about building an ark and leaving the planet and they need X number of people aboard it, otherwise, you know, the DNA starts breaking down. You know, it's just a fact of nature to a certain degree. So we do it without, you know, quite often without any rationality to it. It's just something, you know. Genetic variation, yeah, it does. It does. Stronger, healthier babies. In other words, they're more likely to survive their early childhood. So, you know. I remember when we went to Colombia, I was constantly getting compliments on my pasty white skin. It was kind of surreal. Oh, you're so pale. Well, in certain cultures, like in India, the color tone of your skin is a thing. You know, people that are really quite dark skinned are considered a lower caste, they call it, than people with lighter skin. You know, and obviously it is wrong to judge people that way, but it's same. It happens in some Jewish communities as well. Was it a white Jew or a brown Jew? You know, there is that bigotry there, you know. I remember the guy talking about it. It was a documentary. He was an entertainer, this guy, but he was quite, you know, quite dark skinned, quite olive skinned. And some people were like, oh, you know, when he says, I thought a Jew was a Jew was a Jew. But no. You know, and he's talking about it like complaining. Don't blame him complaining. Well, we're 3/4 of the way to 120. We're running out of things to kill. Or we're killing them quick enough that they're not respawning. Yeah, the way I look at it is that we don't have different races. We have different breeds, but we don't have different... We're all one race. We're all humans. Like a dog is a dog. Whether it's a Great Dane, a Poodle, a Jack Russell, you know, it's still a dog, but it's just a different breed of dog. And I kind of think of the differences humans have as more akin to that, and we need really to get past it and see it that way. I mean, some people already do. You know, you could breed a Chihuahua with a Great Dane. Technically possible, anyway. Probably have to be a C-section birth, depending which way round, you know. Or may require some steps, but, you know. Go to Unread Temple, yeah. Yeah, it's also facial features, different features in dogs. 2 eyes, nose and a mouth, but different facial features. The different skeletal traits as well. I saw someone, they posted some picture, it was like an x-ray of 2 people kissing. They said, you see, you can't tell. And then someone who was like a forensic anthropologist said, well, actually, the one on the left is an East Asian female, and the person on the right is, is an African American because of this, that, and the other, and yada yada. They knew exactly. They were like, well, no, there are differences, but that's okay. you know? Well, actually, yeah. Well, no, I mean, they do an important job, you know. Someone burnt to a crisp without any ID, but the bones are there, and they're like, it's this, you know. We need people who are capable of that level of study and, you know. But yeah, they could tell, you know, is the point. So yes, there are differences, at that, you know, not just skin colour, but differences in facial bone structure, body structure. They can identify what part of the world your genes have come from by your bone structure, your teeth, all sorts of things. But it doesn't take you out of the same essential, you know, species of animal. We're still the human being, you know. Those hit a lot harder, but they don't give more XP. I'm going back to the other things. Yeah, it's facial features, how big your lips are, the shape of your nose. It's all, you know. It's all different things, but you could apply those same differences to the face of different dog breeds as well. So we're all the same race. We're just different breeds, that's all. You know, when people... They should call it breedist instead of racist. Because it implies that... It implies a bigger difference than the one that actually exists, to my mind. Okay, this is just me. This is how my brain kind of sees it. When someone says a different race, like, oh, well, you know, interracial, and I'm like, it's not race, though. That doesn't make scientific sense. You can't breed cats and dogs, but you can breed any two cats and any two dogs. Because they're the same species, the same race. So yeah, there is only one human race. We've just got different breeds, that's it. That's all. Some differences are bigger than others, but they're there, you know. Even within a breed, you have variances depending on where they're from. Most traits are just prejudices, like temper. Well, no, temper is learned more than... I mean, the potential for it perhaps could be traced to genetic, but it's also cultural and learned. You know, temperament, there is a certain amount, but it's not wholly that, you know. I mean, Eastern Europeans have features that are not the same as, you know, Western Europeans to a certain extent, but it's a much more subtle thing. But it's there. Like a lot of Welsh people look different from English people, but not massively. It's a subtle difference. Like the Welsh Collie and the Border Collie are quite different, if you know your collies. Your racial background is oddly relevant in medical stuff, like African Americans and West Africans have a genetic predisposition to certain anemia. Yeah, there's genetic traits and stuff, like certain breeds of dogs have certain things that they're more prone to suffer with or whatever. But it's not racial, is it? Because it's with the same race. It's different breeds. People from Latin America tend to have iron deficiency. Well, surely that's diet, though, isn't it? That's not genetic. Cook with cast iron pots, iron deficiency will go away. Europeans usually have vitamin D deficiency. We can manufacture our own vitamin D, but, you know, sunshine's an easy way to get it. It's in lots of foods anyway, but it's whether culturally people from a particular region eat that food. Yeah, we're the same as dogs. And animals in you know, different places adapt to the environment they find themselves in. It sounds more lifestyle and environment than any genetic kind of thing, though, to me, that. I mean, it'd be worth asking, you know, someone that studies that field, but it does sound like that. Yeah, that, well, cooking in an iron pot. Most of the vegetarians I know use cast iron pots for cooking to make sure they're getting plenty of iron. If you eat meat quite often, you're probably getting all the iron you need anyway. So yeah, I mean, a fairly mixed, probably not that healthy diet, but it's pretty good. I don't eat a lot of fruit, to be honest, but unless you count tomatoes. Yeah, I mean, you can have a genetic cause to, you know, not doing well at drawing iron. But when you're talking about a whole bunch of people from a region, it could just be that there's not much in the food they're eating, as opposed to anything genetic. Vitamin B12 deficiency. Well, it could be that, yeah. What'd you get B12 from? I can't remember. Yay, level 120. Where are you, my wonderful perk? No, not you. You. Ah, yes. Yeah, what'd you get B12 from, though? It's like Vit C. People go, oh, you got to eat lots of fruit. Well, not really. I mean, you get vitamin C from potatoes, and potato skins especially. Right, let's go back to Rubicon. Ah, made me jump. Hello. You all done? Okie doke. On my way. See you in a minute. Bye. There you go. I said she'd do that. Eggs, milk, fish, meat. Oh, well, I get tons of it. I eat lots of eggs, milk, and meat. Right, guys, I'm going to go. I don't know if anyone else is streaming. I haven't got time to do a raid. So I'm just going to say thank you all for coming back, despite all the issues and aggravation this evening. So, yes, thank you all. Thank you for the resubs and other things. And I will see you for the next one, which may be tomorrow, most likely Wednesday. Okay, folks. Bye for now.